If it's women issues, if it's leadership issues, incompetence issues, whatever comes across. And I want to emphasize what the majority leader has said. Kindly let us all be able to avail ourselves on Tuesday.
Senators also reiterated that justice shall be served.
I have therefore appointed Tuesday, 7th and Wednesday, 8th November 2023 as the days when the Senate will investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza.
Mhusika mkuu katika mchakato wa kubanduliwa nje ya kiti apewe nafasi hii kujieleza wazi, wa Kenya wakisikiza. Kama ni kunyolewa, Mheshimiwa Spika, watu waandae maji, waandae sabuni na haki itendeke kwa yeyote ambaye atakuwa na makosa. Na iwapo hana makosa, Mheshimiwa Spika, atasamehewa.
I therefore want to assure the people of Meru that we are up to the task. This is a serious matter and we shall dispense justice.
This comes after the Senate on Tuesday voted to go the plenary way instead of constituting an 11-member special committee to investigate the case tabled against Mwangaza. In December last year, when the Senate was investigating a similar case to impeach the embattled Meru governor, a committee was formed and it concluded that the allegations leveled against her at the time were unsubstantiated, consequently leading to the Senate quashing the impeachment. For the second time, the Meru governor, who faces a number of allegations such as misuse of county funds and nepotism, has her fate lying in the Senate. Mutweri Eliud, KUTV.
Right, elsewhere, youth from Narok County have issued a rallying call to the county government and elected leaders to come out and provide support for families evicted from Mau Forest. The youth, led by John Kiok, pleaded with the leaders to visit the affected families and provide them with basic amenities as family wait to go back to their land. They directed their frustration at the security forces for over inhuman forceful eviction. A month ago, the government began evictions along the Mau Forest, targeting illegal settlers on the forest land. Over 3,000 people have been affected in the fresh evictions.
Wanapitia shida wakati huu, wanakaa kwa baridi, na pia tumesikia karibu watoto zaidi ya 100 saizi wamegonjeka ugonjwa wa pneumonia, na hatuoni viongozi wakifika pale kutoa msaada. Jambo lingine ningependa kusema kama vijana, tuna support mambo ya environment na conservation, lakini tunaomba sana serikali ya national, serikali kuu na county watakapotaka kutoa watu pale msituni wafanye kwa njia inayofaa.
Never had the CS coming out clear about this. We've never had the members of National Assembly. We've never had the MCS visiting that area. No notice served. So to us, this is a kind of mistreatment, because you cannot evict people without giving a notice. No notice served, and you know it is a hard time. We were expecting El Nino, so this is inhumane.
Now, the Kenya Meteorological Department has notified Kenyans of a possible increase in the intensity of the ongoing rains throughout the country as the weekend approach. The weatherman has warned that heavy rainfall will spread beyond the northeast, northwest, and central highlands regions to Nairobi, southeastern, lowlands, western, and coast region. The rainfall, according to the Met Department, is anticipated to escalate from Friday the 3rd to Monday the 6th. Kenyans in affected areas are advised to take precaution. Some of the counties placed on high alert include Nairobi, Mombasa, Kiambu, Samburu, Trans Nzoia, and Makueni. Now, moving on, tensions are escalating between the two groups of boda operators in the Embu County over leadership of their sector. Local politics has also played out in the contest, with some of the boda operators supporting the current Manyata Member of Parliament, Gitonga Mukunji, while another group is backing businessman who intends to contest the seat in the upcoming election. This and other stories are in our today's county roundup with Yvonne Kemuma.
A conflict is intensifying between two groups of boda operators in Embu County regarding the leadership of the sector. According to some, the conflict has been significantly fueled by local politics, as some members actively support Manyata MP Gitonga Mukunji, while others support a businessman eyeing the MP seat in the next general elections.
Kama ni chairman anajiita chairman, sisi hatumjui. Sisi tunatabua chairman wa picking base. Unasikia? Sisi tunatabua chairman wenye tumechagulia kwa picking base. Si ati kujaga tuambie mtu anasema ni chairman wetu na hata tujoi mchagua.
Tulikuwa machairman wa hizo picking base kwa karibu zote za Manyata. Tukaita mheshimiwa ndio tujue kutoka tumchague, amekuwa akifanya mambo. Tulikuwa tunataka kumwambia tunaona kile anafanya na tena atuelezeni mipango mipi yako nayo kuhusu watu wa boda.
In Kilifi County, social organizations have called on the government to recognize their contributions in addressing some of the issues faced by local residents. The organizations met with Kilifi County Governor Gideon Mungaro and his CECs in Kilifi Town. They lamented that despite contributing significant amounts of money towards development initiatives, they were often left behind due to a weak collaboration with the county government.
Tulitaka faraga ambao tunaweza kukaa na wao tukaongea na tukaelewana ni jinsi gani ambavyo county inafaa kuendeshwa, na pia platform pia kupeana tu feedback. Hao pia walikuwa na nafasi ya kutuelezea yale masuala ambayo wamekuwa akifanya, zile programs ambazo wamekuwa akifanya kwa kipindi cha mwaka mmoja ambao wamekuwa katika serikali.
Elsewhere, police in Migori County have seized 5 bags of marijuana estimated to be worth 1 million shillings. While confirming the incident, Migori County Police Commissioner Francis Nguli states that the suspect was transporting the contraband cargo, concealing it as bags of omena headed to an undisclosed location.
An estimate of 300 kilograms, 300 kgs. So these are some of them.
And in Laikipia County, Governor Ruben Kamuri has urged the Commission on Revenue Allocation to increase the revenue allocation to Laikipia County from the current 5.3 billion shillings to 10 billion shillings based on county population.
Laikipia County tunasema tuko 592,000. But for us to be allocated resources, the population index is a key factor among other factors, and wakulima, and wafugaji, hizo vitu zote. Lakini wakati census pia inafanywa, pia sisi, our brothers from Laikipia North pengine wamehama kidogo, wameenda other places, population yetu inaenda chini.
Yvonne Kemuma, KU TV.
All right, thank you, Yvonne Kemuma, for that. And that story by Yvonne Kemuma takes us on our first break here on KUTV Primetime News. Remember, when you come back, discussion of the day, and of course, my guest is already in the house. See you in a bit.
Ready to kickstart your day with the most exciting morning show around. Tune in to our dynamic and entertaining program where we keep you informed, engaged, and entertained from the moment you wake up.
From breaking news and current events to music, fun, and out of the ordinary stories, we've got you covered with a mix of interviews, games, and special segments. You never know what's in store.
Join us every Monday morning
And Tuesday morning.
for a fun and fascinating way to start your day.
Don't miss out on the action.
Tune in now and experience the excitement for yourself.
Only on KUTV Rise Today from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Start your day
with us.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
The folks are going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pani idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vilevile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Is that your defense right now? That everyone does it so it's okay? Shouldn't you do better if you know better? That's just so twisted.
That's just words.
These are not just words. It's a code that you used to live by and follow.
I want to make sure that you understand that my wife is off limits. Sure, but are you telling me this? Go tell her. Because I think you need to hear it.
Right, welcome back, and now the discussions begins right now. Remember, a couple of days it has been intense moments, especially to the university students, with some university already engaging in these demonstrations. Like today we saw the University of Machakos, and one key area is the delayed capitation of higher education loans board, especially for the new student under the new funding model. So we just want to get, what is happening in this higher learning institution and what is the way forward. And to help me unpack this is Kirera Muchoki. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me.
I hope I got your name right.
Yes, you did. Yes,
you
did.
Well, with all, the back and push with petitions, student demonstrating, what is happening? What is going on?
I think as every society is structured, whenever there's a problem, people become expressive. We've seen that from the French in the 1800s. We see that even during the World War. Anytime there's oppression, anytime there's a particular problem, then societies become expressive. We are no different. As university students, we feel as if we, first of all, are getting ignored and we are being downplayed as people who are integral parts of the society. I think one thing that people don't realize is that we are not in university for ourselves alone. We are here because we want to see this country move into greater heights in the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. So you can imagine you're doing something for your country. I think that's very patriotic of us. But then you're not being capacity built well enough to get into such spheres to not only benefit ourselves but our own country, our fellow countrymen and women. I think it's a very, very sad state. As university leaders, we're very concerned. Today was actually at the tip of the iceberg, I would say. Machakos University set precedents, but for us, eventually, when push comes to shove, then things will definitely go downhill.
All right. Well, based on your conversation, you talk like as if you have an array of issues that need to actually be ironed out. I want you to get into specifics. What are some of these contentious issues that you feel like they are very critical and they need to be addressed as soon as possible, even as we chart the way for this particular discussion and how best we can actually improve this particular discussion?
Yeah, so some of the things I'd like properly addressed or that are a big problem. As you said, capitation. What people don't know is that actually capitation for universities has been cut down. Currently, universities moved from a debt ceiling of around 61 billion. Currently, I think it's at 77 billion, if I'm not wrong, as per what Machogu said. And this is bad because, as I often say, students are at the bottom of the pyramid. Reason being, we are the most. The administration is somewhere there. The government is definitely at the top. But we're at the bottom of the pyramid. When pressure comes from above, then it always lands on the students. So this debt, this consistent shortage of money will always land on the students. The universities will charge students more money. It becomes a bit of a problem, not a bit, a very big problem, because now the students are going to bear that particular burden. So the capitation situation is just terrible. That's one thing that I can tell you for a fact. It's one of the very, very big problems you're facing. Secondly, with the categorization of help, recently it was changed from the whole vulnerable, needy situation to band 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if you're aware of that. And what that shows you is that, first of all, there's somebody who doesn't understand what exactly they're doing. The capitation has suddenly shifted. No reasons have been given. The goalposts have just been pushed just because somebody can. Parliament as well also had an issue with this particular amendment because it is in the law that there's structure as to how amendments should be made. So you really wonder, then who is right? Who should we trust? Is it this person who can shift the goalposts whenever? Is it this person who even the legislature of this great country can think is at fault? So who do we really trust? That's also a bone of contention.
Well, that's a big question, like who do we really trust? So let me ask you this. You talk about some new changes being proposed. Have they actually, for example, the issue of raising school fees, have they raised from where you sit?
Okay, yes, they did, though the review was done based off progressive historical data, I'll be honest. The reason I say this is because the university fees had not been reviewed for the longest time. The structure was null and void, it never really existed. They didn't know what exactly they were doing. That one I can tell you for a fact. So it was raised because times had to, the value had to change with time. Yeah, so for example, a course that was, a medicine course that costed probably 600,000 at a particular point had to increase. But again, it doesn't downplay the fact that it still becomes more and more expensive for the student. And the student is always still a property of the government. We are always meant to be under the government. So they should think about how to fund this particular student, at the same time balancing out the particular rates for their studies.
So what is the general mood right now?
I'd say the mood is very pensive. People are angry. And I think one thing that every Kenyan out there can agree, and everyone knows, is that there's nothing as bad as an angry mob. A mob is one thing, but an angry mob is just terrible. I think student leaders are gearing up to take more radical measures, more radical steps. As I said before, Machakos University is just the tip of the iceberg. More and more universities will start uprising against what exactly is happening. And I wouldn't blame anyone. I wouldn't even blame myself if I was to organize the same. Actually, it's because, as I said, it is an act of patriotism. It's not just selfish want for clout. If I wanted clout, I know where I would get it. Yeah, but if I wanted the best for my students, then we would do everything necessary for that.
Right. Now, let's talk about now the real bone of contention. Now, the delayed capitation, especially to the first year students under the new funding model. And one of the areas that you say, like, they have been delayed fund, and nobody really knows the fate of these affected students. And this begs the question, has there been some sort of communication from the administration concerning the fate of the said student? Is there a memo or even information, just a clear communication that says from this period to this period, if this and this is not done, maybe we might be forced to actually, send him home? Is there such communication?
From the university side, no. The reason being, universities work in a very interesting way. It's that because they're a government entity, they follow regulations. So if the government or the ministry says no student is going to be sent home, even if you are down in debt, the university will not, because you do not bite the hand that feeds you. That's the constraint. We recently got information from some of our officials that the ministry sent a message that these students would be catered for. But again, I just think, yes, they will eventually, but the damage would have already been done.
Okay.
I don't think capitation is something that should be dealt with as it is being dealt with as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me, now this begs the question again. If there is no any sort of communication that will actually, jeopardize the fate of the said student, then why go on street and mount this aggression? And yet the student are safe in school and nobody is sending them home. Why go out there and actually, plan these demonstrations?
It's because at the end of the day, what you also need to look at is that HELB does not necessarily only cater for university fees. It also caters for upkeep. These students are really, there are some students who are really struggling. There are some orphans, there are people who have parents who are working extra hours to just be able to cater for them. So it's the university part is a tip of the iceberg. It's generally even these students' well-being, even mentally. The other primary concern is without a memo, you do not know exactly what's going to happen next. You're not sure when it's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to happen. And as you've seen the ministry shift goalposts, you're not even sure if what's being said or promised, which hasn't even been said and promised, will actually come to pass. We also have other pressing issues. There's that particular problem of the one-man, one-vote situation, where we'd prefer universal suffrage system rather than the delegate system. That's also another major concern, apart from the whole funding model and also the HELB disbursement. And also just small queries. For example, the government increased the HELB loan from, I think, 12 billion to 32 billion. But you ask yourself, if the government was really interested in the welfare of students, why increase loans instead of grants? A loan will accrue interest. I think it's the best interest for an economist.
All right. And we'll come to, the allocation to different sectors. And I want to get this. Last week, the student caucus, of course, comprised of many student leaders across various universities and even tertiary institutions here in the country. And they had issued ultimatum, of which actually it lapses. It was supposed to happen this Tuesday, the mother of all strike. So what happened? Did you actually, have change of thought?
And not change of thought. Let's just say that there's a grace period you normally give people. Also, we live in a country where you might hold a demonstration without necessary arrangements, and it would be detrimental for each and every one of us. So it's not that we've backed down. In fact, there's a lot more that's meant to come in the near future. Very near future, and that one I can assure you. So let's just say that more arrangements are being made. Things need to be critical. We need to consider our students. We need to consider the necessary personnel who need to be informed. We need to be able to touch each and every facet. Again, also there's the issue of now the format has been changed. Now there's an extension of the time the first years will be allocated for funds. It also brings another question: what exactly is happening? I think the next time that a demonstration is going to happen nationally, it's not going to be child's play. It's going to be something very big and impactful.
Well, is there room for negotiation as all this happens? There are chance for dialogue. What is happening in the background?
Yes, there is a chance for dialogue, but at this point, I can tell you for a fact, some people in government not everyone. I respect and adore the president because I believe in his cause. But there's just some people within the government, especially the Ministry of Education, who do not want to engage in dialogue whatsoever. I think it's that level of a bloated ego and also sheer ignorance that really also causes a bigger rift between us and such entities.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you talk about people who actually, they don't want to engage in this dialogue, who are these people?
Let me just mention the Ministry of Education as a whole. As an entity, I think they have generally gone wrong in a lot of things. If the universities are not complying with whatever they're saying, if the legislature of this country, which is a representation of each and every citizen in this country, is not for it, if professionals, pundits, are not for it, then it definitely means that they are the bone of contention here. It's the Ministry of Education. Yeah, so they're the ones who I would say need to be, overhauled or what. But something serious needs to be done. Otherwise, we are really risking our generation as we know it. Yeah.
All right. We'll want to take a short break. When we come back, of course, we'll be diving into more details, including the allocation, the budget allocation. Remember, the Ministry of Education was actually received a lion's share of this particular budget. Well, that discussion will be continuing after this short break. See you in a while.
Baada ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi wale hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili bila woga.
Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that you are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Readiness Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosive.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani swaibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa Kutv, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalunukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
Right, welcome back. Kirera Choki is still with us. This is a Technical University of Kenya president or if you like the acronym TOOK. President is here with us, and the discussion continues right now. And we're talking about, this contentious funding model that has really, sparked some sort of reaction and even debate among many key stakeholders, civil society groups, students themselves, and even some education stakeholders. Just some questions, some support, mixed reaction. But we just want to dive into it and see this model that was hailed as a game changer as far as dealing with the varsity cash crunch crisis is concerned. Well, this funding model, of course, many hailed it as one of the game changer as far as bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. So first of all, even before we take a look at the hit and miss, I want to take rather to get your account on this. Why are you for the model, or do you actually hold a different opinion?
I actually hold a different opinion towards the model. Reason being, I think there is a much better way to look at it. Why can't we be able to subsidize rates for each and every person in the university structure? Because it's possible. It's very much possible. The weight of catering for each and every student and allowing them to probably pay a nominal amount altogether is very much possible. As I mentioned before, we did a particular paper in the beginning of the year that showed that it was quite possible for each and every student, especially for the data that we had. For example, in the year 2021-2022, there were 356,188 students. The figures that we had showed that each and every student could be equally catered for, and they would just have to pay a small amount and get into university. So what this model does is that it brings an aspect of complexity. It brings a lot of variables, and variables that are not even, I would say, steadily measurable. Reason being, for example, one of the metrics was familial background, but data that people collect can be varied. How's it called? Parents die, things happen. So does it account for such changes? Does it account for such factors? It's a very, again, complex equation, and complex equations just bring more and more complications and problems. Yeah.
All right. Did we ration this model?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. As I told you once more, if the legislature of this country is against it, it just shows something is wrong. The reason why we weren't ready is because from where I sit, we did not really analyze or understand what exactly is happening in the university space. The ministry called it student-centered, but there is no difference between the previous model and this current model as being student-centered. Actually, if it was meant to be implemented as per the Constitution and the Universities Act and that amendment of 2016, then it is still, quite frankly, student-based. They just changed the titles, added more complexity, just made things worse than. Yeah. So we definitely rushed into it, and we rushed into it blindly. And you see now it's biting us in the back. Reason being, now the categories have been changed. You ask why, nobody can tell you. The amounts have been changed. You ask why, nobody can tell you. It's because they never really got the chance to understand that particular system till the very end. Yes.
But when you say there is no difference between this model and the previous one, look at this. The model proposed that for those students under the vulnerable and, of course, extremely needy, they get fully funded without paying anything, and unlike the previous one. Does it actually, try to some sort of balance between, who deserve what and under what, as far as giving, every child an equal shot to education? Don't you think it's trying to some extent, solve this inequality in education?
To some extent, it does. The concept in itself does. But if you were to look at, again, the variables involved, it poses a big question. People can fake. People can be able the rich can be able to pay off so that they can be able to get this particular allocation. You understand? It has so many variables that cause a very, very big problem. The previous model was actually quite interesting. In the year 2019-95, around there, the students used to be catered for, I think, 81.6% of their fees. And that is for each and every student. What's the difference between then and now? That's the big question that arises. The variables are a very big problem, and that's why I have my reservations about this whole situation. And another thing to look at is that it tipples the scale.
Okay.
It can tipple the scale. Reason being, you might be a needy student. No, you come from a wealthy family, you get a bigger loan, and you end up paying more for that particular loan. Let's say, for example, 55%, you're in the 55% bracket for the loan, and you also pay 7% for the household. That's around 62% you're paying for. If you're in a medicine course that's worth 3 million, your debt will be 1.8 million Kenya shillings. By the time you're at the age of 18, your parents don't have any obligation to actually cater for you. If they do, it's by the grace of God. So you have somebody who leaves the university, same ground, because you're all from university, all of us, but you're having a larger debt than this other person for one particular reason. You think that you're doing it because you're going to help, but at the end of the day, you're creating a monster because you're not seeing past that.
All right. Well, to address this, first of all, we must, ask ourselves the question, like, why are we here? Over the past, let's say, Minister of Education, if we were to consider the financial budget, Minister of Education got the lion's share of this budget, and this seemed to be a problem that actually, keep on repeating itself, year in, year out. So, how do we actually solve this? So, what are you proposing as student leaders? What is the way forward to actually solve this, the popping crisis that comes in every, let's say, academic year, every year in, year out? So how do we face this? What are some of the proposals that you are actually bringing on the table, even as you look at the effect of what this cash crunch crisis is doing to learning institutions?
I think, first of all, they really need to evaluate everything. And again, my issues with the Ministry of Education. Implementation is a critical problem in that ministry.
All right.
They will say this, they will preach, if they will preach water, take wine. And that is exactly what they do. They will say that, we have this particular amount, 2 weeks after that, the budgets are cut. University budgets are cut. That's what people don't know. Universities are still going to continue going into debt. Even if they talk about writing off debt, there was a Gazette notice from last year, I think September, saying that the government proposed to write off debt by selling assets for the universities. It was a good initiative, but who sells assets to write off debts? And debts that are consistently caused by the lack of money being transferred to universities. It doesn't make sense. So implementation and the leadership of the ministry is just the first thing that needs to be solved. I think that would be the first step, even before anything else. Then from there, things will just move in.
Even as we wind up, does the ministry have money? Because you have to look at this angle, like, why are they struggling to fund the universities? Do they have money?
My bigger question would be, how many universities or how many university students have been funded the first years? If we can answer that, and currently it's, for example, the help is currently at 0 for the first years, my big question would be, do they have zero amount of money to be able to cater? If they catered for 100,000 and left 50,000, then we would have said, they don't have enough money. Or if they would have catered for 70% of the total amount, they would have said they don't have money. But 0, I think it raises more questions than possible answers we have.
All right. Kirera Muchuki.
Yes, you've got it right.
Thank you so much for making time. Your name is a bit confusing, but I've got it right. That is all we had for you this particular evening. As far as this discussion is concerned, it's a matter that we'll keep on following and pursue it to the uttermost core and give it the maximum attention that it deserves. Education cannot wait, as they say. Well, we take yet another short break. When we come back, of course, we'll be diving into more stories. See you in a bit.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland, and I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Alright, welcome back and let's continue. Coast-based secular musician Ali Hamisi Mwanguli, alias Ali B, has been laid to rest according to Islam custom. The artist passed on yesterday evening while being rushed to the hospital while battling pneumonia. President Ruto joined Kenyans who have taken to social media to mourn Maria hitmaker, as Julio Ngaki now reports.
Secular artist Ali Hamisi Mwanguli alias Ali B has been buried after passing on yesterday while being rushed to the hospital following a short illness. According to a family member, the late Ali B succumbed to pneumonia. Across social media platforms have shared their condolence messages, adding that Ali B has left a huge void in the music scene.
Na ngoma moja specifically napenda inaitwa Maria. Ya, ukisikiza hiyo ngoma like inaibua hisia fulani unapoisikiza, na bila shaka alikuwa ni mtu ambaye amechangia pakubwa katika muziki humu Kenya. Kwa hivyo wasanii wamepoteza na pia sisi kama wasikilizaji wake.
Imeuma sana, inauma sana. Kupoteza msanii kama wewe amejituma tangu akuwe mdogo, unapata wewe amejituma sana akuwe msanii. Sasa amekuwa famous na amekufa vibaya sana.
His fellow musicians have also mourned him, with veteran artists noting that the music fraternity has suffered a huge loss. President William Ruto, through his X account, joined other leaders and Kenyans in mourning, saying that Ali B used his talent to promote peace and harmony in the society. Various leaders and entertainment presenters have also condoled with the family, saying that the musician will be remembered for his immense contribution in the music industry. The late Ali B will be fondly remembered as one of the greatest musicians from the coastal region. Julio Ngaki, KUTV.
it's time for the latest in the world of sports. Kenya Port Authority, KPA, trash Nile Legends of South Sudan 70-49 to go top in their Africa Women's Basketball League Zone 5 Group B qualifiers in Kigali, Rwanda. Other Kenyan team, Equity Bank Hawks, trash APR of Rwanda 63-56, also to go top in Group A. The winners of the different zones will take part in the Africa Women's Basketball League set to be held from December 5th, 2023 in Cairo, Egypt. And now to football action. Defending champions of the Carabao Cup, Manchester United, were dumped out of the competition in a humiliating manner after losing 3-0 to Newcastle United at Old Trafford in the fourth round. Arsenal was thrashed 3-1 by West Ham at the London Stadium, while Chelsea and Liverpool are through to the quarter-finals after bagging wins against Blackburn Rovers, Bournemouth respectively. Some of the Carabao Cup quarter-finals matches will see Chelsea lock horns with Newcastle United at Stamford Bridge, and Liverpool will take on West Ham at Anfield. Still matters football. Wydad Casablanca FC from Morocco will take on Mamelodi Sundown FC of South Africa in a two-legged finals of the inaugural Africa Football League. Casablanca went through to the finals after overcoming Esperance FC of Tunisia 5-4 on penalties after the game was tied on a 1-1 aggregate. Meanwhile, Mamelodi Sundowns beat Al Ahly FC of Egypt 1-0 on aggregate to seal their spot in the finals. The first leg of the Africa Football League finals will take place this Sunday at Mohammed Sports Complex in Morocco, while the second leg will be played on November 12th at the Loftus Stadium in South Africa, and the winner will take the prize money of $2 million, or rather $4 million. That's all we had for you. Many thanks for keeping us a company in the last 55 minutes or so. My name is Auma Evans. Samuel Kelo has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Until next time, it's a bye-bye and do have a lovely night.